When it comes to the issue of abortion, one of the first things you'll hear is, but what about? But what about rape? But what about incest? What about the life of the mother? We're here today in this video to talk about those exceptions.
My name is Rae, and I'm a certified midwife in Arkansas and in Missouri.
My name is Abigail, and I'm a mama to 3 little girls. So both of us know a few things about childbirth, pregnancy. We've also been involved in some pro-life activism. One of the things, as I said in the intro, that we hear a lot is, okay, maybe abortion isn't the best thing. Maybe it isn't something we should celebrate, but there are some situations when abortion is definitely necessary, and it's good for the mother and it's good for society. One of those top issues you hear about, whether it's in person or online, is rape and incest. So, Rana, from our perspective as Christians, because we believe that all humans are made in the image of God, we believe that all humans have the right to life and that humans are human from the point of fertilization. Why is rape and incest, why is that not a good justification for taking the life of a child?
With the case of rape and incest, it's a very emotional situation because there's a crime that's been committed. You do have to step back from that situation to view the 3 people that are involved. You have the father who is the rapist who has committed a crime. You have the mother who is a victim of a crime, and you have the baby who is innocent. And if anyone out of those 3 are going to receive a death penalty, it should be the rapist who has committed a crime. The mother is a victim of a horrible situation, and she should be cared for and loved and given resources, surrounding with care, and that baby should be protected and loved as well. There are many stories of people who are alive today who were conceived in rape, and you can't look at them and say, you shouldn't have deserved to live because of how you were conceived. So you have to see that person, you have to see that unborn baby as a life that was created in the image of God and deserves right to live as the rest of us.
And the common saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right, right? The fact is that something terrible has been done, the rape has been committed,
Yes.
But encouraging the mother, leaving it open as an option for the mother to then go ahead and kill her own child, that's just adding murder on top of rape, right? And it's not going to heal her to kill her child. It's not going to make the rape not have happened. It's not going to fix the situation. All it's going to do is compound the evil and make it all a much worse situation, whereas, as you said, it could actually be a redeeming factor that this child has been born.
And we are against abortion in the same way we are against rape, in that rape is a violation against another person's body, against their will, and abortion is a violation against another person's body, against their will. So it's helpful to pull back from the emotional chaos that people want to throw on you with these types of scenarios and just view the 3 people and ask which one is guilty, which one is innocent, and go from there.
So another common talking point around this whole issue is the life of the mother. So the argument goes that there are many cases in which if a woman is to continue her pregnancy, she is going to die. And so probably she and the baby will both die. So she has to get an abortion in order to save her life. As a midwife, what are some conditions or issues that you've seen or learned about that could possibly only be solved by an abortion?
So there are complications that can arise in pregnancy. Many times they are such that you can monitor mom and baby and work to save both. You can do early C-sections, and if the mom's not able to carry to full term, you can do early C-sections, work to save that baby and the mom. The most common ones that come up is the ectopic pregnancy argument. That is when the baby that has been conceived is implanting in another location other than the uterus, most commonly in the fallopian tube. The fallopian tube is small, so as the baby grows, it will eventually rupture the tube, which can cause mom to hemorrhage. And so the baby must be removed out of that the baby will die if left there, and the mom may have a chance of dealing, with the hemorrhage. So in that situation, you have two people that you want to save their lives, but if you can only save one, then you save that one. And removing the baby out of that situation where it cannot survive is not the same as the intent of murder, the intent of going to an abortion clinic and getting an abortion. So in that case, if a mother is having an ectopic pregnancy, she goes to the hospital, she goes to ER, she doesn't go to an abortion clinic. She is a medical emergency and she needs to go in for medical help.
And along with that conversation, what I've heard before is that if you make abortion illegal, then miscarriage care will also be illegal, because the same procedure, the D&C, can be used with both, either abortion or with miscarriages. So if we make abortion illegal, is that going to put women at risk if they have a natural miscarriage and they need to get medical help? Will they be denied that because of the laws?
No, I don't believe so, because the procedure itself is not going to be outlawed. It's the intent of the procedure. What are you using the procedure for? If you are having a miscarriage, sometimes a D&C is necessary to make sure everything has passed and that you don't run a risk of infection. If anything stays inside, that can increase your infection chance.
Right. So, and that's very different from having a perfectly healthy, alive child.
Yes.
And having that procedure to destroy the child.
Yes.
The third reason that we hear abortion needs to be legalized is in the case of abnormalities in the baby, right? So maybe a loving husband and wife want kids, they get pregnant, they're excited, and then they realize that this child has some kind of fetal abnormality, which will make it so that they will either die before childbirth, before delivery, or they might only live for a few minutes or hours after being delivered. Is abortion the right answer to that situation? What all is involved with fetal anomalies?
I think that people think having an abortion with a baby that has a condition may ease the grieving process or be less sorrowful or painful to carry a baby that you know is not going to make it. But I believe, because we believe every life is created in the image of God, I believe you should love that child as long as you can. If you can birth that child, bring it to full term and birth that child, hold that child, love that child until natural death. So I don't at all see an exception for abnormality of babies necessary at all. It's cruel in my mind to take a child who is born with a medical condition that cannot help it and think, well, it just deserves to let's just go ahead and end its life because of this condition. I think that's terrible and very hard-hearted. And I think how painful it would be to have a child with in that condition. But even more so, as a mother, you should love, right? That's our first duty is loving. So we should love that child, care for that child as long as they are on earth.
Right. And if you somehow think that it's more compassionate for the child, that they might have to, you don't want them to suffer, to be born and die and suffer. Just the terrible fact is that the child's going to die one way or another. Is the child going to die at the hands of his or her own parents, brutally murdered, or are they going to die in the arms of their parents? And it's still tragic, it's still painful for everyone involved, but that is a far more dignified and loving way for a child to pass away than just taking
his life.
Ending life with an abortion.
Yes. A lot of the times when these exceptions are brought up, people don't know exactly how often they are occurring. So I have here, the reasons for getting an abortion, of that number, rape and incest is at 0.4%. So only 0.4% of abortions are being done because of rape and incest. Then the same with risk of the mother's life is 0.3%. And then of the abnormality of a baby situation, it's 1.2%. So many pro-choicers will use these more rare, very emotional, difficult situations in order to push their abortion on demand.
And sadly, it isn't just the pro-abortion side that is bringing up these exceptions. It's also the pro-life side. In many cases, legislators organizations will say that abortion should be illegal except in these certain cases. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because it's very emotional. Like the situations of rape and incest and life of mother, like they're very difficult situations. There's a lot of emotion involved with it. But you need to step back and see, in order to be consistent, you have to say, well, all life should be protected. If you believe life begins at the moment of conception and we are made in the image of God, then you need to treat every person the same, like having equal protection for all, not just these babies and, oh, well, you were conceived in rape, so you shouldn't deserve to live because of that.
So a more consistent approach would be what is called abolitionism, which is a movement to completely abolish abortion. No exceptions, no caveats. Really explain what that looks like. Do we have to make a whole bunch of new laws, or how would that play out in real life to say that abortion should be completely abolished?
Yes. So a basic understanding of abolitionism is equal protection under the law. So the same laws that protect you and me, born people, from murder should be applied to those that are in the womb. So it would go about the same way. You know, anyone who's involved in the murder of another human being would be brought to trial, see who's the guilty party, what's the evidence, and go through all the process, due process.
Right.
So although we do not have the perfect answer for every situation, we hope this has been helpful to get another perspective on these many common exceptions that are in pro-life bills and that pro-choicers like to throw out there as an excuse for their abortion on demand for any reason.
Thank you for watching.